When President Trump picked JD Vance to be his running mate, Vivek Ramaswamy said, "I couldn't think of a better candidate than my old college roommate back at Yale Law School." And I am telling you right now, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow Americans, you have to watch this video of JD Vance absolutely obliterating the radical woke left, which is CNN and Dana Bash and Jonathan Karl and all the woke media companies. Watch this clip of JD Vance absolutely showing his mettle and speaking up for Americans, backing Donald Trump, and destroying Dana Bash, if not just for the pure entertainment. Check this out, and then we'll talk about it. Come on back.
Dana, I criticized his lying about his own record, okay? This is a guy who is captured on video saying, I carried a gun in war. He never went to war. This is a guy who's been captured on video as other people say he's an Afghanistan veteran. He's a veteran of a war, nodding along in agreement instead of saying, no, I did serve my country and I did it honorably, but I never went to a war zone. I'm not criticizing Tim Walz's service. I'm criticizing the fact that he lied about his service for political gain, Dana. You now asked me 3 questions about comments that I made 3 years ago. I wonder what Kamala Harris thinks about the fact that she supported policies that opened the American southern border. I wonder what Kamala Harris thinks about the fact that she lied to the American people about Joe Biden's middle facility for the office. You are interviewing me, Dana, because I respect the American people enough to sit down for an interview.
I appreciate that.
Kamala Harris has been the nominee for 3 weeks. She hasn't sat down for a real interview.
Believe me, we are asking. You're not going to get a disagreement there.
But the point is, Dana, you've got me for 15 minutes or however long you have me. We should be talking about public policies that matter. How are we going to lower inflation? How are we going to reduce the cost of food and housing? How are we going to close down that southern border? We've talked so little about that. We've talked a lot more about a sarcastic remark I made 3 years ago. I think we should talk about the issues that most Americans care. Kamala Harris is whatever she says she is. But I believe importantly that President Trump is right that she's a chameleon. She pretends to be one thing in front of one audience. She pretends to be something different in front of another audience. Look, Dana, she's not running a political campaign. She's running a movie. She only speaks to voters behind a teleprompter. Everything is scripted. She doesn't have her policy positions out there. She hasn't answered why she wanted to ban fracking, but now she doesn't. She wanted to fund police, but now she doesn't. She wanted to open the border, but now she doesn't. She should have to answer for why she presents a different set of policies to one audience and a different set of policies to another audience. And I think that's what President Trump is getting at. This is a fundamentally fake person. She's different depending on who she's in front of. And I criticize people for not having kids. I criticize people for being anti-child. And I do think that Kamala Harris has made some bizarre statements. She has said things like, it's reasonable not to have children over climate change. I think it's the exact opposite message we should be sending to our young families. I want to expand the child tax credit. I want to stop those surprise medical bills. I want to make housing more affordable so that if you have a young family, you can actually afford to put them in a home. And I think that it is unfortunate that so much of our public leadership has become anti-family. One final point on this, Dana, if you go back to the COVID era, one thing that really frustrated me, please.
Are you going to debate Tim Walz?
Of course. I want to debate Tim Walz. I think it's important. And I think that it goes to a very fundamental difference between the Trump-Vance ticket and our opposition. We believe in talking to the media. We believe in answering questions. We believe in debating. I think it's really important. I mean, look, I'm asking the American people to make me their vice president. It's really important to stand before the American people to make that case. And I'm going to keep on doing it in whatever forum I get the opportunity. So
we look forward to it. Thank you so much for sitting down and taking.
Wow. If that is not an absolute demolish session, holy mackerel. What do you guys think of that? Articulate, direct, to the point, authentic, spoke with conviction, understood policies, understand what Americans are going through, sticking up for Donald Trump. This is the exact person that we need in government. Somebody who actually served, not like Tim Walz, who stole valor, somebody who actually served in the military, who has come up from humble beginnings. I watched his movie, Hillbilly Elegy. I'm reading the book right now. It's fantastic. JD Vance absolutely destroys. And I want to share this as well, because I think this is extremely important right here to share this. And that's what I want to do right here. And so if you check this out, here's another interview And the funny thing is the left is saying that, oh man, JD Vance is embarrassing himself. JD Vance is making a mockery of himself and Donald Trump. It's so amazing how they try to manipulate the narrative. If you watch that interview, if you watch those snippets, how many times did Dana Bash say, I agree? We've tried to interview her. You have a candidate who didn't earn a single vote, a single primary delegate, who essentially executed a coup. Frank Underwood from House of Cards would hang his head in awe at what Kamala Harris has done. And she doesn't have zero policies on her entire website. She hasn't sat down for even a phone interview, let alone a real interview, let alone an actual press conference, taking actual questions. They faked AI audience members to make it look like her rallies were bigger than they were. Let me repeat that. She faked images on social media across every platform, X, Facebook, YouTube, to make it look like there were more people in her audience. I mean, there's been so many. I've posted this on X. Follow me on X, at Professor Nez, Truth Social, at Professor Nez, Facebook, at Professor Nez. It has been debunked. These audiences were manipulated by artificial intelligence. They're deep fakes, completely 100% artificial. She has nothing to stand on, and now she's stealing Donald Trump's no tax on tips. That's the only thing that I know for hospitality workers. That's the only thing the American public knows. But we'll talk more about that later. Check out this clip when Jonathan Karl, this slimy, smarmy Adam Schiff's butt buddy, watch how he actually tries to commence JD Vance into saying, no. Kamala Harris never had control over the border. Watch this amazing clip.
Well, John, we have to start with the fact that we have a wide open southern border because our border czar actually set a lot of open border policies. They suspended.
She's not actually. She wasn't the border czar.
Oh, that was what the media called her. She assumed the title. She had control over a lot of our border policy at a time when they were suspending.
Okay, if you saw, I have to stop this real fast. This is absolute BS. And the woke media should be ashamed of themselves. I did an entire video back to back before Kamala executed a coup and after she executed a coup of what the media called her back then. And border czar was mentioned every single time. So this is the most egregious lie by Jonathan Karl. But let's continue this and we'll talk about it.
Let me finish, John. The time they were suspending deportations, they stopped Donald Trump's Remain in Mexico policy and they reinstituted catch and release. They basically threw open the gates of our country, and now we have a ton of fentanyl, a ton of people suffering. But how are you going to get 10 to 15 to 20 million people? Well, the first thing you have to do is to stop the bleeding, stop the open border, get Kamala Harris out of there and actually re-implement the Remain in Mexico policy, rebuild or finish Donald Trump's border wall. And you do that and you stop the bleeding. Now, you're right. Once you do that, once you stop Kamala Harris's open border policies, you've got to do something with the people who are already here. And I think that you take a sequential approach to it. You are going to have to deport some people. If you're not willing to deport a lot of people, you're not willing to have a border when there are 20 million illegal aliens in our country.
10 to 15 million people, this is like, I mean.
Well, John, I think it's the wrong attitude to take of it. Okay, so
you go knock on doors and ask people for their papers.
Again, but I think this is the wrong attitude towards it, right? There's 20 million people here illegally. You start with what's achievable. You do that, and then you go on to what's achievable from there. I think that if you deport a lot of violent criminals, and frankly, if you make it harder to hire illegal labor, which undercuts the wages of American workers, I think you go a lot of the way to solving the illegal immigration problem. But look, President Trump is absolutely right. You cannot have a border unless you're willing to deport some people. I think it's interesting that people focus on, well, how do you deport 18 million people? Let's start with 1 million. That's where Kamala Harris has failed, and then we can go from there.
Wow. I got to tell you guys, I am completely impressed with JD Vance. He's young, he's vigorous, he speaks with conviction, he's articulate, he's authentic, he comes from humble beginnings, and he's going on a campaign. The debates between him and Tim Stolen Valor, Tampon Tim Walz, is going to be magnetic, electrifying, explosive. And your boy Nez, we're going to go live. We're going to go live and cover that step by step all the way. You got to stick with us. But I want to throw this off to you. Wow. What do you think in the comments down below. The choice seems abundantly clear. The Dems want to keep violent cartel members, violent criminals, people who, I hate to even say it, have committed so many atrocities on Americans. Lake and Riley is one prime example, but there are multitudinous examples of these gang members, which, by the way, the Democrats literally allowed them to pour in illegally so they could accrue votes for one pure, simple reason, because they're afraid. It's the same reason why they ousted Biden. They know they can't win legitimately. They know they can't win legitimately. I wouldn't be surprised if this video gets flagged or deleted, because I am saying stuff that the powers that be definitely don't want out there. So I need you to tap that thumbs up, share this with as many people as you can, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think of JD Vance. I'll be honest with you. When he first picked JD Vance, Trump, I was skeptical. Not my first pick, not even maybe in my top 3, but wow. After seeing what he has been, capable of, after seeing him execute, after seeing him push back, after seeing him speak with considerable substance and conviction and authenticity against these woke media mafia-ites, I am thoroughly impressed, and I can't wait to hear what you think. So let me know down below. If you made it this far, don't forget to sign up for our free newsletter. That's in the comments. Pin comment, show notes, and description down below. It's your insurance policy, so you never miss out. Sign up for that. Check out these videos coming up on the screen right now. Follow, subscribe, hit the bell notifications. And as always, may God bless you, and may God bless America. I'll see you soon.